Hi everyone, this is Dr. Beena Nangia on Facebook Connect GK. Today I am going to be talking about some soft skills that we need to inculcate in our children during this pandemic time. You might say we are already doing it. What is she trying to tell us? So, what I have done is I have taken 3 of them, important ones, and I have called it TRC, to reach children, short form, okay? Which is T is the time management, the R is the responsibility, and the C is the communication skills. You might say, big deal, we are already doing what we need to do, and hats off to you, all parents and grandparents and teachers and everybody involved is doing a lot of work during this pandemic, and when things are not too good, and I really appreciate all the effort that everybody is doing. And I thought I would just talk about these skills so that you know how to do it in a better manner, and so that in future whenever the pandemic is over or it's a big haul and we have to live with it, all these skills will go a long way. Just 3 skills that I'm taking today. There are many more, but important ones, and that is TRC, time management, responsibility and communication. So let me take the first one, which is the time management. Again, you might say, big deal, time management, whole day, we are doing something or the other, and planning something, doing something, keeping them occupied, that is all time management. You know what? Business schools, and when you go and do an MBA or something, they teach you a lot of time management, because time management is business, time management is life. So it's not all that easy though. And a few of you who may be MBAs or gone to business schools would appreciate the fact that of course time management is important. So let's look at it in a detailed manner and something a little different. So teaching kids the value of time. You may be doing a lot of activities, online classes, online schoolwork, etc. But how do we teach them the value of time? I'm sure they have their wristwatches, but we could have a clock in the room. We could have, the apps that you could use. Then we could have the stopwatch or the hour glass, the thing that is tall and which has this sand falling down. That gives them the value of time. That time is as important as, say, money invested, or whatever they want to connect it. The idea is to tell them how important it is to manage that time that they have in the whole day, and it is not just a mere time pass, it is time management. So let's start by saying that let's make this time management fun for everybody. Not that, okay, now let's make timetables, let's make calendars and do a to-do list and that's time management. No, it should be fun for everybody in the home, and that comes to a very important point. We single out kids and say, okay, let's make a timetable for you and then we'll stick by it. You forget that you need to make a timetable for yourself, for your spouse, for the siblings, for grandparents, the helpers in the home. Why? This gives all the kids a sense of being in control and not being singled out for activities in the day. Psychologically it helps to understand that, wow, all of them are having calendars, even the helpers. And then you will see how they are motivated to manage that time during the whole day. And you may not have problems, trying to say that they don't pay attention or they don't listen to us when we talk about the activities. So creating calendars for each one, even grandparents, it's nice to have something that they can also be involved in. Then you can also start all this before they become teenagers so that they value time. then don't overschedule the time. I know that there is online classes happening from school, then there are activities, and everybody is trying to fit in coding classes, piano classes, yoga classes, all kinds of classes online. So don't overschedule. Here I would say, don't compare your kids with the other kids' schedules, your friends or your siblings, children. Just see that you don't overschedule their activities and you manage time beautifully for them, which means even scheduling free time, time to play, and it is all interwoven between the activities of study, play, free time, and then it is like very, very manageable. So when all this is done, I'm sure you're all doing it, but if you can shift a bit and stay on task for all the activities that are being done in the day, they become more responsible. So we come to the next skill, which is responsibility. This comes from the word response. Responsibility. Response to what? The ability to respond to situations and the environment around them. You might say, my kids are responsible, they do whatever I tell them to do. But dear parents, if we think that there are activities or chores in the home that they need not do because we have helpers, we are not giving them a chance to prove being responsible. Responsibility. Okay, so building the skill, which means even giving them to wash windows and some windows in the home which is not facing outside but with little water and vinegar, and appreciating for them for it. It is built into the time management, okay, as an activity. Then loading the laundry into the washing machine. We might say, no, who's going to allow them to do that? But dear parents, it is not so difficult. Once you show it to them, they take on the responsibility. So involve them. Then ask them to maybe answer the phone, take down messages, walk the dog. I know it's difficult, but if you can manage little bit, if you have a pet, to take responsibility for plants in the home. Then also to sweep their room. You might say, oh my God, what is she saying? Sweep their room? You've never even thought about it. Maybe one room, their own room, and their own little, going around with a broom and managing all that. The sense of involvement and the sense of responsibility comes from there. Then trying to help you in the kitchen to make some dishes, baking something. This has all to be done consistently in the time management as an activity. So put it in so that it inculcates a sense of responsibility. Then being responsible for their homework, then simple chores around the house, picking up the plates from the table, taking responsibility for completing the homework, and also which class they should do online, being responsible for that, or to take on a physical activity, and then planning for meals. You might say, oh, what about all this? But dear parents, this is going to go a long way in being responsible and planning and having the time management, everything put together. And now another important thing is with the clothes that they are wearing, or the hair that is growing long because we cannot take them to the parlor for a haircut. So giving them the responsibility to decide how they are going to manage the hair. You might say, oh, they would not want to even comb it and just be the way they are. So talking to them about what is the responsibility towards how they are dressing up, even if they are home, or even the hair grooming, etc., goes a long way in feeling responsible to the situation that is happening, which comes to the next skill, which is again interwoven. That's why I've taken TRC, which is the time management, the responsibility and the communication. Once the other two are in place, you are very well equipped to communicate with your children. You might say, of course, we are talking to them and, playing with them and doing whatever needs to be done. But the communication as a skill, which if you build now will go a long way, is to engage them and have a conversation which is meaningful and which is the listener and the talker. You might say, my God, we don't have time for all this stuff, yeah? Like we just talk and give them the instructions and ask them to follow it. But if I am teaching them as a skill to communicate, they know how to communicate better later on in their relationships, in their offices, in their schools, wherever. So we need to engage and have meaningful listener-talker conversation. Then give them wait time. Don't be in a hurry to just give your orders and instructions and you think that it is understood. That is not good communication. Give wait time. What you have said, has it registered? Are they able to then respond to you accordingly? Dear parents, all these skills are very, very subtle and important skills. You are doing it and I'm sure and I appreciate you for that. But let's look at it very differently for long-term goals and plans. Then treat your child as a communication partner, not as a one-way dialogue or you're, giving instructions or you're thinking you're communicating from one end of the room to the other, but sitting down and understanding and trying to relate to them and also engaging them with a good eye contact and an understanding. Okay, now an important thing is to turn off the TV while you're trying to communicate. A lot of times things are going on around and you're doing your bit of trying to talk and you're thinking that they're listening or not listening, whatever. But communication is as an important skill is when there is no TV or any other music or anything happening. It is a two-way important interaction going on. That is how we teach them to be able to have good meetings later on at workplace or good interviews where you are communicating well with the other. Then you can teach them respectful vocabulary. And that is very good for communication. They should not hear you very casually, talking something and you have to be alert because we are teaching a skill, right? So the alertness of using good vocabulary, asking them to repeat what you're saying, having meaningful conversation and being a good role model. So if they see conflicts happening all the time where the communication is either there or not there at all between spouses or grandparents or siblings at home and everybody is just trying to do something, ignore some things or overtalk, let's be a little more vigilant about this skill which is communication and practice this talking, which is listening and speaking in natural situations. Don't expect them that when there is a conflict happening, everybody is talking and you're trying to communicate. That's not going to happen. It will happen when there is peaceful interaction and it's a natural setting where you are able to make them understand or you're spending enough time to relate to what they have to listen and understand. Which is where you can use a time management activities or trying to think of what we are going to plan in the calendar, etc. Those are good areas for communication and the responsibility tasks they're going to take. So dear parents, we need to look at all these three skills, which let me come back, which is the TRC, which is telling you to reach to children. So to reach children, TRC. So which means time management, responsibility and communication. All this practiced along with other skills which I will take on in my other sessions are important to start off, to think differently. Yes, of course, we are all doing what we need to do, and of course, we are doing it the way we think right, and of course, we are doing it the way we understand. But today I thought that let's shift our attention to what actually it means to have these skills in children. So thank you for listening and watching, and I'm available to help you plan your calendars with and timetables with children, see that they understand the responsibilities, plan some communication between parents and siblings and grandparents, etc. I'm available for online sessions and on Skype or Zoom or WhatsApp video calls. My passion is to work with kids and families, and at the end of the session, the post will carry my email ID as well as my WhatsApp and phone number. Please feel free to get in touch so that we can manage these skills and carry on doing what we need to do differently in this situation of a pandemic, but which is not that it is unmanageable. So let's use it wisely to help our kids for future skills and to grow as good human beings and better people. Thank you all, and till next time, bye bye. God bless you all.